Well, anyway, I'm trying to get rested up after that trip back. And on the way back, Friday, and you know the thing is, if you're in Oregon, if you're traveling through Oregon, you always want to look at Trip Check. I'm sure other states have similar stuff. And I was getting ready to go. I was going to leave later Friday. And what should happen that Highway 20 near Ventura, Oregon, was closed because of a wildfire. So I had to take a 70-mile detour, and thank God Highway 26 got reopened because it was closed last Wednesday because of a wildfire. I went up there to John Day and then hit 395 back to hit Burns. And then I made it without incident back to Southern Oregon, but it's just an inferno back, and still is, in Eastern Oregon. And my sinuses just went crazy. And today, here in the valley, the air wasn't too bad. But, you know, there's fires in California, and God almighty, there's one that's not far from Lassen Park. You know, and they had that terrible fire 3 years ago. They don't need another damn fire. And I already talked about that in a video last year on it. So there was all that. And then, and I have to talk a little bit about politics, but Kamala Harris right now is probably the luckiest politician alive, because Trump and Vance are self-destructing by the day. And there's just more and more damn stuff they're saying. Of course, that real scary thing was Trump the other day talking to some religious people, I guess, Christo-fascists, and promised them that, you know, they vote for him again in the fall. And I'm just kind of paraphrasing. They won't, by the time they get done with all the election stuff, they won't have to worry about another election. But the goal, of course, of these fascists is to get rid of elections, criminalize the Democratic Party, and just basically repeal the entire 21st and 20th century to some fantasy of the way it was during the Gilded Age. But anyway, they keep self-destructing. And what was good news, and who knows, it could change, but what was good news is that Trump refuses to debate Kamala Harris. And I say good news because Kamala Harris is not a good debater. She's a piss-poor debater, actually. And she would be destroyed by Trump, because Trump would be ready with the smears on Willie Brown, which really aren't smears. They keep calling her like a DEI hire. She was not a DEI hire to begin with in politics. She was a patronage hire in the sleaziest way possible. And speaking of that, Willie Brown was going around yammering to some local media, San Francisco media, over the weekend. He's like 90 years old, and he still can't keep his mouth shut. He was talking about Governor Newsom of California, that he should be in line, or he thought he would be in line for a cabinet position. Oh my God, just shut up. Just shut up, Brown. Because the more you talk, the more you just hang yourself. You're a giant albatross around Kamala Harris, and always were. And, you know, my feeling has always been, because of that, that she really, it really disqualified her from ever running for president. And yes, I know, you know, Biden picked her, and he primarily picked her for personal reasons, because he could trust her, and she was a close friend of his late son, Beau. And that's the reason she was picked. It's not because of any strategic reason or anything. But now that Biden has been tossed aside like a piece of garbage, thanks to the coup led by that asshole James Carville. Now we're stuck with this. And now they're talking, well, the money's all flowing now. Oh, there's so much excitement, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe any of this shit. I don't believe she'll do any better than Biden would have done. And in fact, she's going to be lucky if she can hang on to all the states that he has, that he got in 2020. That's all she needs to do. But he's just, I mean, I just know what's coming down the pike. And the debate would have ruined her. It would have ruined her. And her down ticket races. So it doesn't benefit her to do a debate. At all. Doesn't benefit her. And anyway, Carville did, I guess they still have that show, Firing Line. Even though Buckley died 20 years ago almost, they still have that program. I can't believe that even still exists. But he was on there, Carville, bragging, tooting his horn, and somebody in the comments said, well, I hope he lives to be 100. The only 100 he's ever going to get close to is 100 proof. Because he always shows off his liquor cabinet, which is not a good look. So maybe Carville should just quit doing that. And he's already mud as far as I'm concerned, because that was a really risky. It was a dirty trick to do to Biden. It was a filthy trick. That's something that the GOP would do. And he's a rat fucker, and he always will be a rat fucker. So anyway, I'm never going to get over that. Ever. You take a sitting president and you trash him like he's a piece of garbage. And, and what the hell? What the damn hell? Over somebody, and ostensibly somebody who has never been vetted nationally. Kamala Harris has not really had much in the way of vetting at all. And, but let me tell you, it's coming. Ordinarily. But if Trump and Vance keep screwing up, she may not have to worry about it. So, right now, luck is smiling down on Kamala Harris. And, but I'm not holding my breath about her chances. I'm really not. And then we have something else to distract the public, and that's the Olympics. And that opening ceremony, I guess, was really awful. At least it was considered offensive to many Christians, you might say. But interestingly, you can't find the opening ceremony at all on YouTube. I can't find it anywhere. They scrubbed it off. You get all you have is commentary about it, but you don't have the actual rerun of the opening ceremony. That shouldn't be. Outside of Lady Gaga and, of course, Celine Dion, who did a great job, by the way, singing on that final part from the Eiffel Tower, at the base of the Eiffel Tower. And you would not know she was so seriously ill from that performance. And that's a terrible thing that she has. And I was looking that up, and that's got to be among the world's rarest diseases, like 1 in 1 million or 1 in 2 million has that, what she has. That's stiff body syndrome or whatever that's called. And it's just terrible tragedy. But anyway, I've been looking at little clips that they have of the Olympics because I don't feel like turning on my TV. And so I was watching that, some different sports and stuff. But of course, we're going to get our fair share of cheaters, right? And Redux tells us that what's coming up is two men. And if you think these are women, I've got a bridge I'd like to sell you. Because these are dudes. Two men set to compete at Paris 2024 were previously disqualified because they were cheaters. Women's World Championship for having XY chromosomes because they're men. Why the hell are they in the goddamn Olympics? And why are women tolerating it? So, two athletes competing at the Paris Olympics as women were previously disqualified from a Women's World Championship for having... Isn't this laughable? Why say XY chromosome? Just say they're men. Imani Khalif of Algeria and Lin Yuting of Taiwan are scheduled to compete in Olympic women's boxing next week despite past questions surrounding their biological sex. They're men, all right? They're men. And here these damn women are, they're risking getting killed. What's it going to take? Now, it says here the Women's World Boxing Championships took place in March of 2023 and was hosted in New Delhi, India. A total of 324 boxers from 64 nations competed during the 10-day trial, marking the largest participation of any iteration of the championship ever recorded. However, the grand event was marred by controversy after Umar Kremlev, president of the International Boxing Association, announced the disqualification of multiple boxers from the championship. Kremlev said that IBA executives had met towards the championship's grand finale to discuss fairness among athletes and professionalism after concerns were raised about the biological sex of some participants. He added that after a series of DNA tests, the IBA uncovered athletes who were trying to fool their colleagues and pretend to be women. Well, duh. Look at that. If you think those are women, I got a bridge I'd like to sell you. They're fucking cheats. But you watch, they'll be allowed to compete. The women will go along with it. Somebody's at risk of getting killed. Anyway, I guess I could sit there and do some research of this stuff. I've kind of put all this kind of nonsense on the back burner because there's so much else that is so much more important going on. We've got that damn election. And like I said, I hope Kamala, if Kamala is the nominee after the convention, that she'll be able to weather it. And if they keep self-destructing, if the Republicans keep self-destructing, then she should prevail. But who knows? They might even ditch old Trump midstream, even though they had their convention and stuff. But anyway, so much for that. I'm about done. So that is it.